So we're here today with Craig Toler. Craig, you're from Sullivan here. Talk about kind of being a part of this area in general.
Yeah, I moved to Sullivan in 2008 after I did my student teaching here under Coach Bales. Subbed for a few years, and then I got into insurance there. But I lived here from 2008 to 2021 and moved down to the Effingham area.
You were recently named the head boys basketball coach here at Sullivan. When was it, and kind of describe the emotions?
I believe it was May 20th, around there. There was really no time to celebrate or anything because we had basically a week to between board approval and meeting the team, setting up a youth camp, and then our first team workout was May 30th, the day after Memorial Day. So it was a very hectic process from accepting and board approval to getting actually to work. So it was a week full of activity, and so no time just to relax and celebrate. But it was a good week that we got to get to work. So.
When did you realize this is the kind of the job that you wanted to have being from here?
After our basketball season last year, I didn't really think about anything else. We had a motto last year: "Be where your feet are." Coach Reeder, he talked about that all the time with our players, and I think everybody throughout the program held true to that. So, as far as other jobs, those weren't on the horizon. But once we finished up and the job was posted, I did put in for it, and obviously I wanted to get it once I put in for it.
When you applied for the job, what was the waiting process like for you?
It wasn't bad at all. There was a period between application and the first interview. They had some uncertainty in the teaching staff, so they waited a little bit. But as far as for me, I was happy where I was at, so it wasn't like I was anxious or I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't bad. It was a job I wanted, but if I did not get it, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Last couple of years, you've coached as a JV coach under Coach Reeder at T-Town, okay? And the opportunity that you were given there, what type of coaching style now do you bring in the process of having that experience do you bring here?
It's a high energy style. I feel like both of us were high energy there. It was a great experience. Coach Reeder gave a lot of responsibility to all of our assistants, and it was great preparation to move from JV level to a varsity head coach, because there were segments of practice that we assistants were allowed to run. There were some administrative things that we were able to do after games, before games. He put us in charge of scouting reports. So a lot of what we did was great preparation for the transition from JV to varsity.
So 7 years ago, he was still coaching here, and now you coached under him at T-Town, and now you're the head coach here at Sullivan. Kind of taking the reins from him when he was here, what's that mean to you?
It's not something I think about a whole lot. I believe in putting your head down and moving forward. So sentimental things, to me, I just want to work and be the best coach for the kids in the program right now. So as far as looking back on things and reflecting, there might be a time for that. But right now, all that I've thought about and our staff has thought about is being the best we can be for our program, our kids currently in the program, the young kids, and the future of the program.
What was the reaction like knowing that you got the job?
Obviously, big time excitement. When Mr. Allen called me and offered the job, there were still some things as far as or the primary job, which is teaching, that we had to work out. So we still had to discuss that, but it was a very exciting call getting from Mr. Allen that they were offering the job, and then the relief of taking it, because I would say there was a week there from the original offer to finally accepting, or 3 or 4 days at least, where a lot of discussions with people around me, and but obviously moving from JV to a varsity head coaching job was an exciting moment.
When did it become known to you that the responsibilities of a head coaching job would become bigger for you?
I feel like I was pretty well aware of that when I applied for the job. Like I said, Coach Reeder did a lot to train not only me, but all of our assistants, because he does a good job of giving us a lot of responsibility as assistants within the program. So from scouting reports to sending stuff to the media after games, running segments of practice. I feel like I had a good idea about it. Now, Coach Van Pelt is our JV coach here. He's been a varsity coach, so I'm sure I will lean on him for some guidance. I'm sure there will be things that pop up in November that I'll think, whoa, I wasn't prepared for that. But I felt like I had a good idea about the different responsibilities. But like I said, I'm sure there will be things that come up, and the first year will be a learning process. Coach Reeder has, every coach I've worked under has been a role model, and I feel like a good one as far as coaching goes. Coach Bales, who I student taught under and coach with under here at Sullivan, Coach Tovey at Okaw Valley and St. Anthony, Coach Reeder here the first time, Coach Black, and then Coach Reeder the second time. I've taken things away from every coach I've worked under. Every coach has their strengths and their weaknesses. As far as the last 2 or 3 years specifically, I touched on it a little earlier, the responsibilities that Coach Reeder gives to you as an assistant. They help with the growing process, and then just being able to watch the work ethic that he has, the attention to detail that he requires of himself, of other coaches and the players in the program, and how to love the kids that he coaches is something that I learned a lot from Coach Reeder specifically. Another guy I look at as a mentor, Coach Reeder's brother, I remember something that he said. He always says, "I hope I'm a much better coach than I was 5 years ago," and obviously much even better 10 years from a certain point. But the one thing that I've learned, it's not just coaching or athletics, but every successful person is a process-oriented person. When you start focusing on results, I believe that you get away from being relentless to the process, and that's when you stray away from your principles. So just the main thing I've learned as a coach, I think, is to be a process-oriented person, and if you take care of that, the results will take care of themselves. Well, I've lived here for 13 years. I know a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people know a lot about me. I hope that they know that our coaching staff will be very demanding of players and coach them hard, but love them harder. Like I mentioned Coach Van Pelt earlier, he's been the JV coach here for several years. I don't know too many people who love their kids as much as he does. He's very demanding, very hard on them. However, even if you looked at his shop classes, when kids get to be seniors, they take 3 and 4 shop classes with him. And Coach Centers, our freshman coach, I just got to meet him this summer, but he's always willing to do something. He's always wanting to learn. So I've really enjoyed working with him. And then Coach Atchison, our volunteer varsity assistant, he played here in 2014. He was anything the team required guy. He would do it. And not coincidentally, he was part of the last team here that won any type of championship. They won the Okaw Valley tournament his senior year, and he has a great passion for the program. And so I hope that the town knows that, like I said, we will be very demanding of kids. We will coach them hard, but we're going to love them harder.
Did you envision yourself being a head coach, but also just in general being a coach like this in period?
Yeah, I went to college to be an educator. I started in history or social studies. Moved to PE after that. Took some night classes, and 3 hours Tsarist Russia class took me out of that and made me realize I want to go into PE. But both my parents were educators. My dad was a coach in Southern Illinois, and then he worked his way up in administration. My mom was a teacher for years and retired as a teacher. So my whole family and all my dad's side are teachers. And I did, when I went to college, I had the idea of being a coach. Like I said, started, did student teaching, then got out of education, was in insurance, but I did work as a coach still for those years. And more than coaching, just working with kids. I love working with kids. Dad started a business. He and I ran it for a few years, and I continued it. So always had working with kids in mind. At least 23 or 24 of our 27 players that are out right now are multi-sport athletes. 19 play football. So there is some athleticism. One thing the willingness to learn. We put in a new offense this summer. It's been hard on the kids. There are different reads, different series of the offense. We've done a lot of basic things, but their willingness to learn that through just three days a week for an hour and a half a day. It's been hard on them, but like I said, they've made every attempt to do that. So that's what impressed me the most about them. And there are some good athletes. So we will try to expand upon that.
What do you think is so important about the kids that are in high school now and leading them to success, but also after high school into the future lives?
It is the most important thing we do is not only coaches, but all educators, is to hopefully mold kids into good young men and women. So that is obviously the number one goal. And first thing I believe you've got to do is lead by example with a strong work ethic. One thing I'm a big believer in is kids calling every teacher Mr. and Mrs. Coach, addressing them that way. I think in order to be respected, you have to be respectable and you have to show respect. And I think that gets young people a lot further in life than the entitlement attitude. So hopefully just showing them by example and instilling into them a good work ethic, the importance of showing respect to people who've done things, your elders. I believe that's a very important part of society in general. Is if young people don't show respect to their elders, then you have a decay in that society. Yes, obviously administration, Dr. Walk, Mr. Allen, the principal, Mr. Huber, the athletic director, anybody that was involved in the hiring process, Mr. Aikman, the assistant principal. I just have a great deal of appreciation for them to trust their program in me. It's a responsibility I don't take lightly. And like we talked about earlier, I hope that I can reward them by putting a product on the floor that our school and the community can be proud of.
Craig Toler, the new head basketball coach for boys at Sullivan High School. Craig, thanks for your time. Good luck to the season, but also good luck on your career here at Sullivan.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate the interview.